Second thing we're going to look at here is how to do slide animation. So instead of having these just pop in, what do I do if I want one to slide in, side, top, bottom, or what have you? The logical thing and why we have you add the audio files. Oftentimes your audio file will indicate a good time for things to fade in or dissolve in. In this case, I kind of feel like this little clip here, that sliding noise, is a good place for there to be kind of a slide. So what we're going to do is we're going to take the letter S, this layer, and we're going to make it slide in instead. And here's how we do that. First we need to determine the end point, and almost always we're determining the end point first in what we're calling keyframing, which is setting how it looks at a certain point. So we're going to listen to this clip a few times. And we notice right about here is where that slide really kind of gets meaty, and that's where we want it to be, the meaty part of the slide. So we're going to call it 2 seconds and 15 frames is going to be the point where we want the slide to stop. And again, we usually set the end point. So how do we set the point? You'll notice next to the S here, there's a little drop down arrow. And if I click that, I get some new options. 3 options: position, opacity, which is how see-through it is, and then style, which we'll get to in a minute on a future video. What I really am worried about here is the position. And to start keyframes, this little kind of stopwatch next to the word position is how we can turn those on. So when I click that, you'll notice there's a little diamond shows up in the timeline, and that diamond represents how the letter S is going to look during that particular area. Now right now it's saying S is going to fit and sit right here. So that's all good and well, because that's what I want it to sit at 2 seconds and 15 frames. Now what I want to do is I want to scroll back to the beginning. Now at this point the letter S is sitting in that exact same area, but what I want to do is I want to start a new keyframe. So over here on the left hand side underneath the S, I click that keyframe button, and now I have the second diamond, and at this diamond I want the S to be down below. Now one trick for you while you're sliding, because it's sometimes hard, you might go left, right, and the other, and you don't want this thing like flying in. If you hold the shift key while you drag, your letters will go straight up and down and straight left and right. So I'll hold the letter S and drag this just off screen. So I've told Photoshop at this diamond be all the way at the bottom, and if I go to the other diamond, which I can navigate between my diamonds or keyframes by clicking the arrows, it says at this diamond be all the way up. And what Photoshop does is it creates everything in between, which you can see by dragging your slider. So dragging my playhead here, I can see that that slides up, and if I watch it live, it goes. Alright, and that's how we can do simple slides. So you can do those any variety of directions, including not straight. So that's sliding keyframing.